and congenital stuff and congenital stuff. I'd like to see this too. See, there's your pretty girl. I'd like to see, I'd like to see this go into the barbershops too.
That would be
Oh,
awesome.
men,
Yeah.
listen, men would pay whatever,
Hmm.
anything. My brother-in-law actually had to shave his head because he was losing hair. He's like,
Oh my
if
gosh.
you figure out how to bring hair back, you will be a millionaire. And I was like, that's
Yeah.
enough, huh?
Let's do it. Let's
Men
do
are
it.
the best clients,
Men are the best clients.
especially if you just tell them what to do. They're like, okay, no worries. Like they don't try to argue or anything.
No, no, no,
No.
no. And that's what's nice about it's nice to me because you only have what, one, two, three, four, five pieces in the line, not counting
Yeah.
the skills, and you teach them. What do they say? If you build it, they will grow.
If you,
Yep.
they will grow. We'll give everybody a couple more minutes to kind of join in. We're going to be going over hair loss. I'm so excited for this Juvasonic. I actually did it on my partner, and you can 100% see the difference on his hair. It is insane. I was like, babe, I need to teach you how to do this on me because I am losing hair. This is crazy.
Oh, that tiny, that tiny bit.
Yeah, it works amazing.
All right, let's do a little intro.
Okay.
So, hello, you guys. I am Maria, and I am the admin of the Money Making Esthetician Facebook group. And I am so excited for today's live because I don't feel like it's talked about enough. Hair loss. I feel like it is crippling. It completely makes your self-confidence go down. Um, I started experiencing it. I absolutely hate it. It is so scary. And yeah, so let's do a little intro. We have Angel and Bella today. Bella, if you would like to start, and then we'll go over with Angel about, your role in the industry, what we can expect to learn today.
Yeah, super exciting. So, hi guys, in case you aren't familiar with me, my name is Bella Cancel. I am the lead educator here at Dermastart. So happy to be here with you guys today. Very exciting. I've been a licensed esthetician for the last 7 years, almost 8 years. I've been working with Dermastart for about 8 years. So, really exciting. Lots of really great things that we have. In case you're not familiar with Dermastart and this is kind of your first class with us or first intro to either myself or Angel, Dermastart is going to be a multifunctional and adaptable skincare line for all skin types, tones, and textures. And what we mean by that is that we are adaptable no matter what phase your client's in, whether it's your preteens dealing with a little bit of acne and congestion, all the way up to your more advanced clients dealing with scalp metabolism issues, glycation, hyperfriction. We're able to fully transition with them no matter what phase they're at in life. We also use the best professional resources available to you. So you guys are getting the best of the best products available to you at an affordable price. So we are a lot more affordable in comparison to any other clinical line on the market, which is great. We have no minimums. We also do free classes such as the one we're doing here today with the Money Making Esthetician. We also do a lot of education on our platforms as well. We also offer drop shipping and have an affordable shipping as well, which is super exciting. And I will let Miss Angel do her introduction, but I will say Angel is our ambassador for Dermastar, and we love her very much. So, Angel, I will let you kind of take it away and let them get to know you a little bit.
Thank you, Bella. Very hard to follow you up with all your great words.
Oh,
Ladies and gentle people, I am Angel Fenner. Here in Arizona, I'm known as the skin coach. I have been in this industry since 1986 when I was a senior in high school doing hair. So this kind of falls into my scope of practice. I'm licensed here in Arizona and also in Hawaii, and brought this technology into my own practice with great success. We are going to be working on one of my clients today who has seen success with this. It's a very exciting kind of way to the point where to help with hair loss, to the point where I have replaced hair microneedling and have seen a lot better results with this. If there is one thing I know Bella and Maria will probably coach you all on is to make sure before you start doing your treatments that you do befores, because I cannot wait to see her afters. Very blessed to be part of your platform today, and thank you both for welcoming me. I'm also here as an esthetician, I am here in a salon environment because I want this to also go into the salons as well as to the barbershops that are out there. So very, very adaptable, very, very, as Bella said, just something that is really going to help those of us that are losing our hair, whether it be menopause, anything with the current, what's going on, and speak of the GLPs that people are losing their hair loss, and so on and so forth. So I'll give it back to you, Bella.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Well, guys, I wanted to give you a little bit of background before we kind of get into the demo. So I wanted to talk a little bit about scalp metabolism today, in case you aren't familiar with this, or this is kind of like your first time hearing about it. So scalp metabolism is going to refer to that complex biological process within the scalp. So that's going to be what's going to generate, distribute, and utilize the energy to maintain that cellular health, as well as that hair follicle activity, right? And that barrier function. So think of this as like our scalp's ability to produce energy, which is going to be that ATP that we can see, how it's going to transport that oxygen and nutrients to where it actually needs to go, right? To help us with growing our hair, and also how it's going to clear that waste efficiently, right? Kind of getting rid of all of the things that we don't need as well. We also want to make sure that we are maintaining that ideal temperature, hydration, and circulation, all while activating and supporting that cellular turnover and that repair. So all of the products that we're going to talk about today go back to this scalp metabolism and how they each have a purpose for why we're using them and why they're helping the scalp and how it's going to help our hair to grow as well, which is really cool and something that I think is really unique, especially because we know that when we want our hair to grow, right, we have to have a healthy environment. We want to have that homeostasis, right? Just like the skin on our face, we need to have a healthy environment on our scalp in order for it to grow and flourish and to be able to do what it needs to do, which is going to be really exciting. But Angel, I know that you have been working on with the Juvasonic for a hot minute, right? I would love to hear kind of your thoughts and what you love about it before we kind of get into the product side.
Well, guys, it's really simple. Here you grab your box, and I'll show these to you. Let me move around again. I've got Lisa all positioned here, but here are your box of ampules, and it's really, really simple. Your ampule, well, that's your box. I'll show you as we go along. Your ampules go inside the Juvasonic as such, and it's easy peasy. The nice thing about it is too, it's all encompassing. The other thing that I was doing when I was doing microneedling is I had a need for a red light after. So you can set this to the different settings as far as speed. And once you go through the Juvasonic training, which they also have and is coming up with us at Dermastart, you also will notice that it also has a red light. Can you all see that okay? And then
That's
it
amazing.
also has a blue light. So maybe you have someone that, as Bella said, needs that little extra bit of love when it comes to their scalp, and maybe they have acne on their scalp. But the red light, I think, is what's happening with Lisa's skin. Let me turn this so it's the right way and you all could see it. It charges super easy. It's not cumbersome. A lot of the states are more able to use this where they've been restricted from using the microneedling. I also love this too because it's a way of disrupting the barrier and then getting the products that are within that little ampule I showed you down quicker into the areas of the scalp and hair follicle that need those nutrients. So easy peasy. You can add this if you are a salon that has a head spa, for example. That wouldn't be the most beautiful treatment because you're cleaning the scalp before you get started. If you are a stylist, you cleanse their scalp, they come in for this every 2 weeks, and it really helps with the growth of their hair. And last but not least, all the barbers that are out there, maybe they're losing areas around their hairline where they get that quick fade and touch up, and along the areas over the ears where men start to get the gray first, not only us girls. And you'll see one of the products, as Bella describes it, that'll help. And Lisa's been going through saving some of the hair from so many touch-ups of color that she goes through. And it's helping her with transitioning away from so much damaging color and having her natural hair. Bella.
Amazing. Yes. And what I also wanted to add to that too is this device integrates beautifully with our 4 pillars that we have. So in case you're new to Dermastart, we have our 4 pillars, and these are all frameworks and biomarkers so that way we can easily understand not only the products that we're working with, but the formulations and ingredients and kind of break it down as to why we're using them. So I kind of wanted to go over those a little bit today, just because I feel like this is such a great way to make sure that we understand exactly why we're using the ingredients that we're using and how they actually help to support, what we're trying to do. So first and foremost, when we're talking about the 4 pillars of hair vitality, this is a concept that is only for Dermastart. We are the originators of our 4 pillars, which is super exciting. So we have our framework, which is going to be, what the skin's function, which is going to be those pillars. So that's the framework. And then we have those biomarkers. So that's going to be those indicators within those targets that we're looking for, right? So speaking of those, first we have structural. Structural is going to be all about that architectural and mechanical resilience. So what that means is we're looking for ingredients that are going to support that physical integrity of the scalp while also helping with that follicular anchoring, right? So making sure that we're reinforcing that follicle of that matrix for a stronger, more resilient hair. Then we have our molecular. So this is going to refer to that biochemical signaling and that cellular pathway. So this is going to be all about regulating that follicle activity through neurogenic peptides, through those copper complexes and other actives that we're using. And those are going to optimize that cellular communication and that growth signaling. So think of these like your communicators, right? They're making sure that everybody has the proper information. So that way there's no misfires, right? Then that leads us into our functional. So functional is going to be all about that physiological and performance and that dynamic processing. So that's going to be enhancing the scalp's microcirculation. Think of that nutrient delivery and also how that follicle is going to respond. So that way we're ensuring we're going through that full hair cycle effectively and really extending that antigen and catagen phase so that we go through that growth process. And then barrier. We know the barrier is going to be one of the most important things, not just on our face, but on our scalp too as well. And this is all about that protection and homeostasis. So we really want to make sure that we are maintaining that scalp hydration. We're helping with strengthening that protective barrier and also reducing that inflammation or that environmental stress that's there, right? We really want to help to make sure that that hair is being healthy. So then that way it's going to have that retention as well. So I think that the 4 pillars are really great because they help you to easily identify why we're using the products, the ingredients in them, and how we're best utilizing them for our best case scenario as well. Angel, what are your thoughts on the 4 pillars? As an esthetician in the treatment room, has this helped you? Have you noticed a difference when it comes to thinking about the products that you're choosing or just kind of overall product knowledge, or skin knowledge as well?
Yes, I agree. Here in the Southwest, we are full on, you guys, for the past 150 years been stripped mined of copper. And I've been a very big fan of copper, and this couldn't be a better tool to explain to your clients why the symbolisms that Bella is talking about as far as ingredients are concerned are very, very important. The other thing I wanted to piggyback on what Bella was saying too, you keep hearing her say the word professional. This is not sold on Temu. It's not sold on Alibaba. So it's not something you're going to see an influencer doing. There's definite training with this. There's definite understanding with this because the creator is a doctor and not Dr. Penn.
That's amazing. And, when we're talking about the 4 biomarkers of hair vitality, something that comes to mind for me is I think of a few different things. So first and foremost, I think of circulation, right? What's that vascular biomarker that we're seeing, right? How are we stimulating the scalp for that microcirculation? So that way we can improve that oxygen flow and that nutrient flow to those follicles. And that is going to lead us into some of the other products a little bit later that we'll kind of go over, but also thinking about communication, right? We want to make sure that our skin has that neurogenic biomarker where it's able to properly communicate. And that's going to be powered by those neuropeptides that we see in these formulations. And what these are doing is they're helping to enhance that scalp nerve signaling. And it's also encouraging that cellular vitality, which is going to lead to a more balanced neuroinflammation for a stronger follicle response. So we're reducing a lot of that inflammation so that follicle can actually thrive and isn't kind of like in flight or fright mode, right? And then we have that regeneration process. So we want to think about that cellular biomarker and how that active ATP or that energy within that cell and that protein synthesis pathways are actually working to repair and improve the follicle and also the density of the follicle itself, right? So we want to make sure that we're supporting that cellular resilience and that scalp barrier renewal. And then, right, we're doing all of this hard work. So we really want to make sure that we are retaining, and that goes with that structural biomarker, right? So we really want to make sure that we are fortifying, anchoring those proteins and really helping with that excellular matrix. So that way, that integrity is going to help to retain those active hair follicles longer in those antigen or that growth cycle as well. And just like, the barrier on the face, we want to take care of the barrier of our scalp, right? So it's kind of like the same biology, but a different zip code, right? We know that with, as we're working on the scalp, right, there's sebaceous glands, there's going to be that microbiome and that barrier layer, collagen matrix, all the same like we have on our face, just on our scalp, right? So as estheticians, it's really important for us to make sure that we are helping our clients in that way and making sure that we know how to treat it in case something does come up and, our client needs that assistance and needs those product recommendations, right? Also, we want to make sure that we are not leaving those results on the table and that we're also building that revenue, that we are helping ourselves and our business and making sure that our clients are getting those results that they're looking for while we're also helping and being profitable as well. Angel, what would you add to that? Or do you have any thoughts?
My thought, I like to tell people that this is no more in my treatment room anymore, less thought of than microneedling, to the point
Mhm.
where I'm able to make packages out of this. The idea that it's made by a doctor and I can back that up, the idea that I'm not doing the same as somebody down the road for me is phenomenal. Plus, you have the trifecta of professionals that can be using this, not just for the face, as Bella has said.
Yeah. And I think too that when we're talking about like this era, right, we're all kind of like in our wellness era. That's kind of like the trends that we're seeing for 2026. And like we kind of talked about a little bit earlier, right? GLP-1s have a significant impact on our hair. They have how our skin is going to look, right? So making sure that we're taking care of our clients and giving them the resources that they need is going to be super important. So we're kind of in this new era of biohacking, scalp wellness. And here at Clear Choice, we're really just not only entering the category, but we're rewriting it, right? Making sure that not only are we helping with that menopause driven hair loss, but also that those GLP-1 concerns, also that anti-aging concerns, right? And just having that overall longevity to that follicle and making our clients feel supported, right? And we really want to make sure that we are kind of taking those wash and hope old routines, right? And kind of redoing them. So that way we are giving you that science. We're giving you that solution. We're giving you that scalp longevity. So that way you feel confident in that treatment room performing these treatments and understanding why we're doing them. And I know that like when we're talking about all of these different ingredients, right, it can be a lot. But what I love to do, and this is just like my tidbit, is I find an ingredient and I will study it until I know it like the back of my hand. And I will find any and every way to understand it. And that's how you slowly start building and understanding all of those ingredients that go into these formulations. And then I take those 4-pillar approach, right? And I kind of put it in there so I can see, okay, this is what it's doing to the structure. This is on that molecular level, what it's doing, that functional, that barrier, right? So then you get an overall better understanding because we know that knowledge is power and it's really important to know why we're using these ingredients as well. Angel, what would you add to that when it comes to understanding ingredients, especially being in the treatment room? I know that you see a lot of different clients. Like, what is your best tip that you could give somebody when they're trying to learn about ingredients or just kind of understand the formulation?
Be an ingredient geek. If that makes everybody laugh, at least you'll remember that caption. But going back to copper, as I said, this is something in Arizona or the Southwest that's very, very studied because people are now looking at copper as an ingredient that's very, very healing. A lot of our houses that are built here do not have copper piping. There's not a lot of copper in the groundwater or food. So beside the obvious of hormone or the GLP or whatever people are going through with their hair loss, I can have people come from Michigan that are what we call winter visitors. And this is still going to work on them because I know the ingredients up here. I know the peptides. I know the technology and I know it will work. Where with your microneedling, sometimes with people, it can be a crapshoot. And sometimes with microneedling, you're dealing with a controlled injury that will go through and eat any kind, and I'll say it that way, that will go through and eat any kind of serum that you apply to the scalp or to the areas where you're needling, wherever you are on the body, eyebrows. You can't do that. You can use this to help people that have hypothyroidism. I am a case in point for that. And this is really going to help a person kind of see results, just like you're going to see with Lisa's scalp today when we work.
Yeah, amazing. And I love what you were saying about copper, right? Copper is such an important, not only like mineral, but also an important ingredient that we utilize every day in the industry. Copper peptide G HKCU is amazing. And you'll notice that that is going to be kind of the baseline of a lot of these formulations that we're talking about today. So just to kind of do a little bit of a history lesson here with copper GHKCU, this was actually first isolated in the 1970s by Dr. Lori Pickart, who identified it as a naturally occurring tripeptide. And this is bound to copper ions in human plasma, right? And in that early research, they found that that initial study showed that that copper GHKCU would decline as we kind of got older, which is going to accelerate that tissue or decrease that tissue repair. You'll notice lack of collagen and elastin production, and overall the skin's regeneration process kind of just goes a little bit downhill, right? So, and as time has kind of gone on, in the cosmetic and therapeutic scene, we've used it for over decades. And we found that copper GHKCU actually is going to help with that elastin and collagen production. It's going to help with reducing that inflammation and helping with that wound healing process, which is going to improve that barrier function, right? So in today's kind of day and age and standard, right, it's like an anti-aging gold standard. We love copper GHKCU, and it's used for good reason, because not only does it help to enhance that skin's regeneration, but it's also really going to help to reduce wrinkles. It's going to enhance that overall skin resilience. It's safe, it's effective, and it's a multifunctional beneficial ingredient, right? So we can use it on the scalp, we can use it on the face, we can use it in serums, we can use it in peels, post procedure as well. So you can see that there's a lot of advancements when it comes to this ingredient. And what's a really cool fact about copper GHKCU is its ability to actually turn on that regenerative pathway. And that's naturally going to decline as we age, as we know. So this is kind of called like the body's natural repair peptide. And you might see that kind of being like all the rage right now. But copper GHKCU is such a great ingredient, especially when it comes to building tissue, healing the skin, and just overall with helping that vitality of the skin as well, which is something that I really love. And I think that is really cool. And when we're talking about copper GHKCU, that is going to be one of the main ingredients in the copper tide mist that we will talk about a little bit later. But speaking of the copper GHKCU, this is going to help with that oxygen proliferation. So once it stimulates that blood flow, it's going to help to remove that DHT in that resting phase or the telogen phase, and it's going to promote that gene expression that's going to be linked to that regeneration. So what it's actually doing is it's kind of waking up those aging follicles at the stem cells and helping them to support that healthy pigment and bring those melanocytes back, right? So it's kind of helping your follicle to act young again and to kind of be alive and have that ATP and that energy that we're looking for, right? Because typically when graying happens, that's going to be because that melanocyte is burnt out, right? That's typically where we see that pigment loss happening. And copper GHKCU is actually going to increase that melanin synthesis, and that's going to help to up-regulate that tyrosinase. So we know with better circulation, that's going to mean more oxygen and more copper ions, and that's going to be a more robust pigment system as well. What's one of the things that you've noticed most about the copper tide mist, Angel, using it both personally and in the treatment room?
Personally, using it after doing this treatment or any treatment that's an ablative, including peels, the recovery time is perfect. With Lisa doing this on the scalp, traditionally with microneedling, you see a lot of redness. Some people are about to go to pinpoint bleeding. So this is very, the GHK is very helpful because it also, she can have her treatment with me and then leave and her scalp's not on fire. I'm also noting, just like you're saying with the DHT, I'm noticing more of a breakdown with the DHT. There was a time where I was using all types of scalp shampoos just to encourage growth or to break down the buildup on our scalp. With the magic of the ampules and this particular tool, it's been very, very helpful.
I love that. Yeah. And another really great ingredient too that you guys will hear about a little bit later on in the class that's in the Gray Biotics actually is palmitoyl tetrapeptide 20 amide. This is actually a biomimetic peptide. And this is really cool because this is an alpha melanocyte stimulating hormone. So this is really cool because what it's doing is it's acting as a smart molecule messenger. So it's designed to talk to your skin and hair cells. So what it's doing is it's amplifying that copper in the copper tide mist. So really good for helping with that graying. It's going to be great for helping with bringing that pigment back to the follicle as well, which is going to be really good. And I can tell you from the before and afters and just the progress we've seen here in corporate with this ingredient, it's been absolutely amazing. Angel, what's your favorite thing about the Gray Biotics mist, and what's the biggest difference that you've noticed when you give this to clients?
Oh, I don't have to sell it. Lisa's been using it now for quite some time. I've
Mhm.
got her stylist talking to people about it. So it's universal, but they are seeing a difference after a short time of use. I will bet with Lisa, the first maybe 2 to 3 weeks, she started to see a difference. And even her stylist has talked to me that a lot of people that she's now a customer of Dermastar Clear Choice, and her clients are starting. So it pretty much sells itself.
Yeah, which I think is really cool. So I want to go over the Juvasonic just a little bit with you guys so that way you can kind of get a better understanding of it. And then we'll kind of get into the demo. How does that sound, Angel?
Sounds great.
Perfect. So Juvasonic is going to be a needleless, pain-free device. And this is really great because what it's doing is it's helping with the absorption of those topical actives or those targeted serums that we're using. So in our case today, it's going to be the root cause serum because what it does is it temporarily disrupts the stratum corneum or that outer layer of skin by using those sonic vibrations and that nanotechnology. So what it's doing is it's simultaneously infusing the skin with those targeted actives while disrupting it, but it also goes back after 15 minutes, which is really cool and really different. And what I love about the Juvasonic is, like Angel said, it's super easy to use. It's so friendly when it comes to, using it on the scalp, the face. It's very versatile. It also has that LED light in there too. So you're kind of getting a 2-for-1 treatment, which is something that I really love. It's easy to hold and it's comfortable in the hand, and there are different speeds. So there's 3 different settings. There's going to be slow, medium, and fast, and that's going to be the RPMs or those revolutions per minute, which is how we'll determine how fast or how slow the treatment is going to be. And you can use this on the face, the scalp, the neck, or the body, which is really great. Angel, what's your favorite thing about the device that you've seen so far?
I am lucky to have a lot of clients, and I say it that way, that have a lot of issues with even upper back acne. So I'm able to use this with a type of serum and then be using the blue light and or just switching it over to the red light if I'm doing an age management treatment on the skin. There are different, as you learn more about the Juvasonic, there are different size ampule containers that can be used with everything from PRP, and I always get these 2 words so crazy. PRP and PDRN on the skin. You can also use your high molecular weights of hyaluronic acid. So I love that flexibility. I'm not restricted to any one thing that I might think would cause nodules on her skin or even nodules in the skin of her scalp.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about granulomas or anything like that, which I think is really great.
None.
So what I wanted to get started with is the treatment. So Angel is going to be our lovely model over here and help to demo all of the products that we're going to be talking about today. So first and foremost, we're going to start with Scalpify. So Angel, I'll let you kind of get a little bit set up while I talk about the pros of the product and kind of what it is before we go into the demo. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Amazing. So we're going to start with Scalpify, and this is going to be a professional pre-scalp cleansing detox booster. So this is really great for those clients that you just need to get a nice deep clean on that scalp, but you don't maybe have access to water. We need to loosen that sebum, all of those oils and those styling residues and product buildup without actually disrupting that natural microbiome. So this is a no rinse detox solution. So this is great because in this product, we're going to have a few different ingredients that I really want to highlight. So it is a multi-acid formulation, meaning that it is going to have 2% glycolic acid, 2% lactic acid, and 1% salicylic acid. And these are all going to work to gently exfoliate the skin, to kind of act as a humectant, to bring a little bit of that hydration. And then that salicylic is going to help to liquefy any sebum. And that's going to work really well with those milk proteins that are in there. So with these milk proteins, these are going to be rich in those essential amino acids, and milk proteins are great for protecting against irritation from surfactants or styling buildup as well. And that is going to lead us to that coconut liquid endosperm. So this is great because coconut, again, is packed with those amino acids that we know of, but it's also full of a lot of vitamins and natural sugars. So what this does in the formulation is it helps to hydrate, soothe, and support the skin while regenerating and also helping to reinforce that moisture barrier. So it's going to help with the texture, creating a smoother, more healthier appearance. And then we also have pea peptide in there, which I feel like is a really underrated ingredient that you don't really hear a lot in our industry. So peptide is going to be great because this is a total underrated weapon when it comes to the scalp and follicle. So it helps to improve corneocyte cohesion, and it's going to help to reduce that sensitivity and that irritation that we can see. So we kind of like to think of it as a training wheels for a compromised scalp barrier. So when you're applying this to the scalp, you want to either put it in a 2x2 or a bowl, right? And put your solution in there, and you can use either a fan brush or a 2x2 to apply it to the scalp. So I'll let you kind of walk through and tell them your technique when it comes to applying the product.
I do it just exactly how you explained, Bella. What I did was to make your parting neat and to have a very thorough treatment. I like to separate them, and clips are very, very cheap. You can get them anywhere from the dollar store to Sally's. I prefer Sally's. I pre-soaked my 2x2, and as you can see, I bought a very inexpensive rat tail comb. So that way, when I go through to do Lisa's scalp, it's very easy to apply. And then if I'm going to go to the next section, it's super simple. So I have even partings on her scalp so that I know that this is going to be a good thing when it comes to application.
Absolutely. And what kind of pressure are you using when you're applying this to the scalp?
Very, very simple. It's just like a tap, a very simple and comfortable tap. I'm not giving a lot of scrubbing because to me, I would rather save the heat and not blow away the efficacy of a product by giving it that type of movement on her scalp.
Yeah, and what's really good about this product is it's really easy to work with, so you don't have to worry about it kind of dripping everywhere and kind of getting everywhere. And you can see through Angel's application how easily it applies to the scalp when you put it on that 2x2, and it very gently absorbs into the scalp too as well, which is great. So now we're going to move on to the root cause. So root cause is going to be that concentrated ampule that we have here at Dermastart. So this is designed to be used in tandem with the Juvasonic device. And this is great because this is going to offer that advanced restorative properties that we're looking for that's going to help with those underlying causes of that scalp and hair imbalance. So after you go ahead and part each section of the hair, you'll load the ampule into the actual Juvasonic device. And some great ingredients in here that I really wanted to highlight are going to be obviously that copper GHK. That's going to be one of our star ingredients here. And this is going to help to restore that thicker, stronger, more resilient looking hair and make sure that that hair has the support that it needs, right? We also have a variety of growth peptides in here, and these are great because in that formulation, it's going to not only help with that hair follicle and encouraging it at that cellular level, but what it's doing is it's encouraging that stronger, thicker, more healthy hair and helping to extend those antigen and catagen growth cycles. So that way you're getting that circulation, you're reducing that inflammation, and you're helping with that hair to go through that full growth phase so you get those fuller results. And you can see how Angel is applying it here. It's very gentle. And then this is also going to have amino acids in there. Amino acids are super important, right? We know that they are the building blocks of keratin, right? And they're going to help to strengthen the hair. It's going to reduce that breakage, and it's going to help to support that new growth as well. And so what they're doing is they're helping to improve that scalp health and boost that hydration and help with that shine. So that way, again, you get that stronger, healthier hair overall. Then we have our anti-gray peptide, which is going to be that palmitoidal tetrapeptide 20 amide that we spoke about a little bit earlier. And then we also have barrier repair ingredients in there as well. So you can see this formulation is super packed with great ingredients in there to really help that scalp and help to anchor that hair as well. Angel, do you want to tell them how you applied the root cause into the Juvasonic and what your technique is for application?
Sure. It's really, really simple, you guys. All you have to do is pop your ampule that they come pre-packaged into the very top of it, as you can see. And then it comes with a couple of tips, or I'm sorry, a pair of collars. The one is totally seals it, but then you just pop this right on. And then when it comes to doing your treatment, as you could probably see, just like as if you were doing microneedling, you're going to be cognizant of your parting, be nice and neat. And I've seen people also do it in circular. The idea is to be as efficient as you can. So what I do is Lisa's having the issues with the graying around all of us have the peripherals of our skin. So I'll start a little further back so that once I go to use the next product, not only is this going to be treated, but then it's going to be again treated with the gray biotics so that you're not just ending at an endpoint and
Mm-hmm.
just treating here. You're treating further back. And then
Mm-hmm.
I will be able in further treatments or subsequent treatments to do more if she wants more done. But guys, it's
Mm-hmm.
as simple as can be. You just have to be really neat about your application. Now with
Yeah, and how
Lisa,
long would you say a typical treatment takes for you to perform from beginning to end?
I would have to say I'm just doing the front two quadrants of Lisa's hair, so probably about 30 minutes. And then
Okay.
I like hands-on like most estheticians, so I'm gonna at the very end go ahead and massage this through and either
Mm-hmm.
send her home with something to cover it or just ask her not to shampoo or do anything or rinse the skin at all or rinse the
Mm-hmm.
hair and scalp at all.
And what speed are you doing the treatment at on her?
I'm a believer in I want this to be used efficiently, yet making enough microdermabrasion to the skin, which not microdermabrasion like the traditional machine, microdermabrasion, because as Bella had already mentioned, we're wanting to disrupt the very top or barrier of the skin. So it's real simple. It's an easy cleanup. It's easy to load and just really easy to do. It's very
Mm-hmm.
anesthetizing too, you guys, when you do this all up through the crown of the head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the treatment itself, I think, is really great too because it's a comfortable client experience. And we know that that's something super important when we're working on clients, right? We want to give them those results, but we also want it to be a comfortable experience for them as well. And what's really great about that root cause is it is going to absorb beautifully and it's not going to leave your client feeling like they have a residue in their scalp, like they feel oily or greasy. And it's a non rinse solution as well. So both the Scalpify and the root cause will be no rinse, which is really great as well. And while you're kind of finishing up doing that section, I'm going to go on to the next product, which is our Copper Tide Mist. Copper Tide Mist has been an absolute game changer. If you're not using Copper Tide Mist, you need to incorporate it into your routine. I'm telling you, I have loved this product since before we even came out with it and kind of launched it to the world. It has been such a game changer for my hair health. As somebody who, straightens her hair a lot and I have very thick, curly hair, this product has been wonderful. It's been great for my mom who's been going through menopause. She's noticed such a huge difference with this as well. So you can see on the scale of versatility, like you can use it for so many different concerns. So Copper Tide Mist is really great because it's an advanced and paraben-free and silicone-free formulation. So it was developed to actually restore balance and hydrate the scalp and the skin and bring back that vitality, right? Kind of bring it back to life. And what's great about this, it doesn't leave your hair feeling greasy. It doesn't feel oily. It doesn't feel like you have a lot of product weighing down your hair. But what it's doing is it's helping to give you that hydration that you need. It's going to help with that barrier repair. And it's also going to reduce that irritation. So great for dry, sensitive, or even stressed skin. Fantastic for clients going through menopause as well, especially if they get a lot of heat flashes or hot flashes. This product has been absolutely amazing. I know my mom has been loving it and it's been a kind of a game changer for her, which is great. But what's really cool about the Copper Tide Mist is it's actually helping to extend that antigen and catagen phase of that growth cycle. So it's helping to create that healthy scalp environment. And it's also helping to build more resilient hair while also helping with that hypersensitivity we can see a lot of times with clients. So it's going to reduce that itchiness and just help to give you that overall comfort as well, which is going to give us those optimal growths that we're looking for also. So what's really great about this, again, you can see one of the highlighted ingredients in here is that copper GHK. It is a
I have
showstopper for a
really quick,
reason.
really quick. Angel, do you mind turning off your blur effect because it's hard to see?
Ah,
Sorry. And then we have a
that's
Oh,
couple
okay.
you're
of
good.
questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is this so we have three. Is this a detox right now? Does this
No,
interfere with hair color? What does it feel like? And is it legal in Hawaii?
So when it comes to legalities, we always recommend checking with your scope of practice within your state. Angel, I know you can answer this better than I can because you are licensed in the state of Hawaii. So once you get your camera fixed, I will turn it over to you. So we'll kind of come back to that one. But no, this doesn't leave a greasy feeling. So this is a very lightweight mist. So when you spray it on, what I like to do is I'll kind of like hold my hair up like this. And then I do like a light mist around like the edge, the crown, and on my part. And it doesn't leave a very like a heavy feeling on the scalp at all. And then what was the other question that was there too, Maria?
How does it feel? How does it feel? How does it
Well, how
feel?
does it feel? It's very like lightweight. I would say that there's not really a heavy texture to it. Angel, what would you say?
What would you say, Lisa?
You feel nothing. The
Yeah, it just feels refreshing and hydrating.
I would also say, because I did try it on my partner Marcos, and I've
Mhm.
done microneedling on him as well, because we are working on hair restoration.
Not just
He said it
the
was less sore. So when I did
Yeah.
I think it was a 0.25,
Mhm.
on his head, he said he felt really sore after, and then the next day, and when I did the Juvasonic, he said it just feels like a little bit of knocking, and it
Mhm.
doesn't hurt.
Yeah. It's definitely a very like comfortable experience, I would say. And then,
guys, I'm
Angel,
having
what
a
would you say when it comes to legalities within Hawaii? I always recommend checking with your state board personally and just making sure you're within your scope of practice. But Angel, I know you are licensed in Hawaii, so you might have a little bit better insight.
I saw my good friend Stacy, and she's probably the author of this question. But one of the things that I noticed is you're not going to go for blood. A nice way that Dr. Sanjay also mentioned, this is a microdermabrasion, so you're not breaking the very top. You're not breaking the stratum corneum. All you're doing is disrupting the barrier. It's not a condition of what they call mesotherapy, where with micro or in some states with microneedling, if you're doing anything beyond that 0.50, where it comes to microneedling, the 0.50 is, pinpoint bleeding. There's no bleeding involved with this. It's in a sense microdermabrasion. So that's why it should be legal. Again, as Bella mentioned, please check with your licensing agency. The last I talked to them and explained it to them, it was fine for them. California, Texas, Michigan, Iowa, the states that are really just getting to things like dermaplaning. That's why, to me, it's a whole lot more acceptable for you ladies that want to do things like nano needling and what have you, because technically it can be considered a nano needling, but it's the idea of moving the products into the skin of the scalp so much easier.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think that was a really great way of putting it, Angel.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions, Maria?
And I'm trying hard, ladies, to get
No.
this turned off, but I think
Oh,
while
yes. What about Florida and Alabama? You should definitely check with your state board.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. Check with your state board and also check with the device manufacturer as well. But state board first and foremost is what we all would recommend.
guys, if you want, I will even go so far to, if you leave your information with Maria, I'll be happy to make photocopies of the brochure and send it to you so that you can read it at no charge. Just make sure Maria has your information, and either I can snail mail it or send it via email to
We
Maria.
can also
and she
post
can
it in the
distribute
group.
it. Oh, there we go. That's a good
Yeah.
idea. I'll get that accomplished by no later than tomorrow.
Post it in the group, and I'll pin it to the featured at the top.
Sounds good. Will do.
Amazing. So talking about the product, as we were talking about the product with Copper Tide Mist, again, this is full of a lot of really great ingredients. And, funny enough, like you said, Maria, this Copper Tide Mist is great for helping with soreness. And that's actually going to be from that hexapeptide 49. That helps with actual skin discomfort. It's going to help with itchiness and that hypersensitivity that we can see. So it's helping to improve that barrier function and to actually soothe any irritation that's on the scalp as well. And another really cool ingredient that I wanted to highlight within this product and kind of talk to you guys about is SH oligopeptide 1 or EGFs, epidermal growth factors. You may hear us say by either name. But oligopeptide 1 is actually a bioengineered form of epidermal growth factors that promote that cell renewal. It's going to help with that skin regeneration and help with improving the texture. So this also helps to speed up recovery as well. So how we recommend using it on the scalp is just lightly misting it. You don't need a lot of product too as well. I would say for like my head, I probably use like maybe 4 to 5 sprays, and I have very thick hair. So what I like to do is I will lift it up and I kind of spray the right here, like my hairline. I like to do the crown, my part, and then I like to lift my hair up on the back and do like 1 and 1. When it comes to doing clients, Angel, how do you like to do that in the treatment room? Do you have like a preferred method?
No, that's perfect. And guys, I wanted to point out too, if you look at the spray, it's really mist. It's not a lot of product. And I'm really sorry why I can't get my thing turned off, but it's not a lot of product. And simply misting it on and then telling your clients to do it the same way at home is very, very helpful as well.
Yeah, which is really great. And then that leads us into gray biotics. So that's going to be the next step in this protocol that we're going to apply to her scalp. So just like you applied that copper tide mist, that's how you're going to apply that gray biotics mist, which Angel is showing here. And this is really great because this is an amplifier to copper tide mist. So this is great because we know that our scalp is a living city of bacteria, yeast, fungi, right? So when that microbiome is kind of all out of whack and out of balance, right? That can be from things like, harsh shampoos, stress, hormones, whatever the case may be. It's going to trigger that inflammation and that oxidative stress. And those are all going to lead to and contribute to that hair loss or hair thinning that we can see. So the probiotics in here are great because they are helping to restore that harmony and help to kind of outcompete that bad microbiome and re-educate our scalp's immune response to reduce that scalp irritation, to help with that follicular anchoring, and also help with those inflammatory cyanocytes that are going to trigger that shedding. So this product is really great because, again, it's full of that palmitoidal tetrapeptide 20 amide, which is going to help with that graying, which is really, really great. So it's going to help to bring those melanocytes back and make them act young and have that pigment back to your scalp. We also have that polypeptide 9 in there. And then we have our probiotic blend, which is going to be pinkberry, inulin, and ashwagandha. All of those are going to work really well to make sure that we are helping with that microbiome. Again, we know we want to have a healthy microbiome because that's going to reflect on the skin, right? Everything going on internally reflects externally and topically, right? So we just want to make sure that we are supporting our skin as best we can. There is a little bit of biotin in here and amino acids, and this is going to help with that anchoring. So for my acne prone clients, I know that that is the first question that we get is, oh my God, there's biotin in here. Is it going to make me break out? No, because it's not enough biotin to increase that shedding of that pore or that follicle where it's going to cause that congestion. So it's just enough to help with that follicle anchoring and making sure that that hair is nice and strong and healthy and supported by those amino acids. So you don't have to worry about any acne or anything like that or it being a trigger. And then we also have those neurogenic scalp protectors in there. So again, helping to restore and balance that scalp. Angel, what's your favorite thing about gray biotics and what's like the best thing you could say or best advice you could give somebody when using it?
I will tell you, they go home in boxes like this with my clients. The directions are very easy to read. As I mentioned before, it's not a lot of selling that I have to do because they work. I'm happy with both. I love when they purchase both, or I gift them as part of their treatments both and roll it into the cost of your actual packages of doing this. The nice thing too about using these, to everybody that's watching, Lisa's hair, and I wish I could figure out, can you tell I do skin and not technology? Because her hair right now is not soaked. I'm going to go ahead once we're done with the class and do her other side, but I'm not sending her out of here with a soaked head of hair. She's able to go and do, after using your two products, on with her day.
Yeah. Also, Angel, I would love if you could take a before and after before you start the treatment and after so we could see the difference too as well. I think that would be really great for the group to see also. And what's really cool, like you said, is we recommend both of these products for retail with your client to go home with. And we'll get into the other retail product that we'll suggest after we finish the protocol. But getting into the last step of the protocol, we have our Hyla Scalp Jelly Serum. I am telling you, this product is a game changer for supporting the scalp and helping with that hydration. We know, especially for menopausal clients, right? That scalp can become very dry and it can become very itchy and irritated. And this product is like a lifesaver. So this is great because this is going to help with that filaggrin decline that we can see. And this jelly serum is nutrient transporter. So it's going to help to fuel that scalp with that deep hydration. So think of all of those great ingredients that we just took from the Scalpify, from the Root Cause, Copper Tide, Gray Biotics, all of those. Now, this is kind of like that delivery system. So even though they were already getting delivered, this is going to help to make sure that they get to go where they need to go. And this is great because this is going to help with hydration. It's going to help to reduce irritation. It's full of multi-way hyaluronic acid and B5. So it's going to be great for acting as a humectant and hydrating the scalp. But one of the ingredients that I think that's in here that is actually kind of underrated is going to be urea. Urea is really great because this doesn't just soothe the scalp, it's actually helping to reboot that scalp metabolism and help to restore that follicle. So this is going to be a natural moisture factor hydration booster. So it is a skin identical humectant that's going to help to relieve that dryness and restore that scalp comfort as well. So it's going to make it a lot smoother and calmer, especially if you have clients who go to bed with wet hair a lot. That can kind of be a foundation for bacteria and all of that kind of stuff. So this is going to help with helping with create that healthy scalp environment. And this also does have ecotin in there. Ecotin is great because this is a amino acid derivative, so this is going to help with that molecular hydration shield and help with that barrier repair agent and help you with that stress protection as well. And what's really great about this, again, very lightweight, it's not going to be very heavy in their hair. Me personally, I use this at home. This is also part of that retail products that you can send home with your client. But this product is really great because you're able to put it on wet hair, dry hair, and it's not going to be heavy or greasy. And it's very soothing, especially with the weather kind of being crazy as it is. And it's kind of getting another wave of that cold front. This is really great for helping to boost that hydration. Angel, what are your thoughts on the Hyla Scalp Jelly Serum?
It's simple. Less is more.
Yeah.
It's so easy. I think even you could use it in between treatments at home. But as you can see, and I'm sorry to my viewers that are dealing with but it's simple. It does not weigh her hair down at all. It's not like a high molecular weight hyaluronic acid. But the nice part about it is she's not going home with a slick on her scalp. I do have one client that applies it to her scalp with her other two mists, and she sleeps with her bonnet or silk bonnet on. And what a difference it has made to her hair here in Arizona being so dry.
Yeah, especially, I would say, especially like where you are, where there's not a lot of humidity, like for us here in Florida, it really can make all the difference for your clients and helping with that scalp as well. And that's another really great product to retail to your clients as well, so they can continue getting those benefits at home. But one of the products that I really wanted to highlight when it comes to that home care is the Sidekick Shampoo Booster. So this is great because this is going to be skincare for your scalp. And this is a booster to their already existing shampoo that they're using. So what this product does is it helps to stimulate circulation and it helps with that neurosignaling. So it's going to promote that regeneration and help to improve that retention. So this helps for stronger, denser, healthier hair from root to tip. And this you just add to your existing shampoo. So how we recommend using it. So say you have a client and they come in, you can have them use this at home before their treatment too as well. What they'll do is they'll shampoo their hair, work it in, and then before they rinse, they add a few pumps, work it in to their scalp, lather it up. I like to let it sit for about 30 seconds to a minute, kind of while I wash my body, while I wash my face, and then rinse it out. And this is great because, again, has that copper GHKCU that we've been talking about all day today, but it's also full of our dermal sensory correction technology. And if you're not familiar with that, that's going to be a proprietary blend to us here at Dermastart. And what this is doing is it's helping with those overreactive nerve signaling and bringing them back to a state of homeostasis. So it's helping to calm and soothe the skin and kind of think of it like a nice warm blanket and be like, okay, everything's okay. No need to freak out, right? So this ingredient is really great because it's going to help with inflammation. It's going to help with irritation. It's going to help with redness, sensitivity, really helping to make sure that the hair is in a state of homeostasis, or the skin, and making sure that it's happy and healthy. And you'll notice this ingredient or formulation is in a lot of our products. Again, this is a proprietary blend to us here at Dermastart, so you're not going to find it in any other clinical line on the market. But again, when we're talking about, this product, it also has hydrolyzed quinoa, rice, and pea proteins. And the reason for this is because they're actually going to penetrate the hair shaft and strengthen and repair and add that resilience to the hair. So it's going to reduce that breakage and, again, help with that fuller, thicker, healthier looking hair. We also have provitamin B5 or panthenol. You can hear it be called either name. And this is very deeply moisturizing. So what it's doing is it's improving the scalp's elasticity, but it's also helping with the shine of the hair. So it gives the hair a very beautiful shine. And then we have cherimoya and ginger extract. And these are great because these are going to help with circulation. We know that ginger is great for boosting circulation within the body. So topically, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to boost that circulation. It's going to provide those antioxidants, and it's going to encourage a healthier scalp environment as well. And there is a little bit of argan oil in there as well to help with those essential fatty acids and helping to protect the skin against those oxidative stress. This is a really great product, again, to retail to your client, and you can sell it in a bundle if you wanted to, of the Sidekick shampoo, Copper Tide Mist, Gray Biotics, and Hyla Scalp, and have that as your client's home care routine, and it would be perfect, and you can include it in the price as well. Angel, do you have anything that you want to add to the Sidekick? Anything about Sidekick?
Guys, I have used it with everything for those of you that like your Aveda products, all the way up to a client that is using Nioxin, for those of you that know what Nioxin is. I'm also working with a couple clients that are having injections done with PRP, and it still is working good on that particular client's scalp for his hair regrowth.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Yeah. So you can see a lot of these products, they work in a lot of different ways, which is really great. But I know that there are going to be questions. What is your recommended pricing in the treatment room, Angel? What do you typically charge your clients for one of these treatments?
I like to talk my clients into packages, because I will tell you the truth. I really believe that doing one or two, just like with any other treatment, you're not going to really see much difference. Now, I also tell my clients beforehand, it's just like having a peel done. You've got to condition the scalp. So by using the things that are for the scalp, and then once they start doing, it depends on your demographic. I know that there are some people that do it as low as 159, but that's just to get the person feeling how this feels on the scalp. You can do packages as high as $699 to $1,000, depending on your demographic. And
And
if
how?
you roll, oh, I'm sorry, Bella.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
That also includes for those of you that have head spas. You can easily do a head spa treatment and then this, and that's a nice $350 Mother's Day gift card.
Absolutely. And how far apart are you spacing your treatments when you're doing them on your clients?
When I'm working with my clients, anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks. I know that some people with microneedling, they've done anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks. So it fits right into that little area of blockchain, and it's not really too much off the beaten path of microneedling.
Yeah, I love that. And let's see, Maria, is there any specific questions that you have for me or Angel or anybody in the group that has specific questions for
Maggie
us?
asked, how difficult is it to do it on yourself?
Oh, Maggie, it's simple. It's that's how lightweight this is. If I were to hand this to Lisa, first off, she would kick me because it's a professional tool and she doesn't like to hear me harp about using it. But if you are a professional, it's perfect. It's really been helping with a curling iron burn that I had on my face, and I've been using the copper. There is a face ampule that Dermastart and Clear Choice has, and it's really healed it inside probably about a month. So it's simple.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely very easy to do on yourself. I would say like it takes about 30 minutes, give or take, depending on, how big of a section you're doing and all of that kind of stuff. But, very, very easy to do on yourself, and also very easy to do on clients as well.
I saw somebody say something about, Maria, does it say startup cost?
What is the startup cost?
It depends. Well, the tool, you would be going into $2,400 ish. I know that they also have sales on these particular pens, and pretty soon we're going to have someone with Dermastart that's going to be able to help with the purchase of that. But that's nothing compared to some of the tools that are out there. I know with your Dr. pens and that, they range in the 100s. And then you have your skin pens and things like that are $5,000-$6,000. So it sits comfortably in between those two.
And then when it comes to products, I would say the startup is not, super expensive, maybe a few $100s, depending on the quantities that you're purchasing and what the amount that you're purchasing and all of that. But again, very low startup costs for the treatment, which is great. And your ROI on this is absolutely amazing, especially when it comes to those products. Again, for us here at Dermastart, we are very affordable in comparison to any other clinical line. We also have no minimums, so you are able to purchase as needed, which is really great. And like Angel said, the root cause ampules, it comes with 10 ampules per package, which is a really good deal. So that's 10 clients minimum that you're able to do with just the ampules, which is really great. So it just depends on the quantities that you are purchasing and how often you are doing the treatment when it comes to the startup costs of the products.
And ladies, for those of you out there that do lashes, my youngest daughter is an esthetician for lashes only, and she offers
Mhm.
these to her clients. And you're laying there getting your lashes done. She just switches them right over to this, and there's a $700 day for her.
Yeah,
So
so the ROI on this is really great.
How long does the treatment take?
about 30 minutes total.
It's super quick. I actually think I did mine in like 15, but it was also male, so the hair was really short.
Yeah, I think it depends on the length of the hair and the density of the hair too. But I would say like 15 to 30 minutes is about a good range.
And
For
then
sure.
price?
What was
Uh,
that?
How much do you charge for it?
Me for just doing this part of Lisa's hair, I charge 159. But if
Which
you
is
do
super easy.
I'm sorry?
That's super reasonable.
Yeah.
And then what's
And
cost per treatment, like our cost? Sorry for interrupting.
Bella, can you help me with that?
So cost per treatment, I would say it really does depend again on, how much product you're using. Everybody's going to be a little bit different, but I would say definitely, I don't have the exact numbers off the top of my head, but I will make sure to get those over to you guys. But I would say roughly about 10 to $15 per treatment, depending again how much product you're using and how often you're doing the treatment as well.
Amazing.
So you can see it's very affordable when it comes to doing the treatment as well.
Do we have any other questions?
I don't see any, but we had so much fun being here with you guys today. Thank you so much. I know Angel and I love getting to do classes with you guys. We love getting to talk to you guys with Maria. It's always so much fun when we get to do these classes. If you guys do have any questions, please, please, please feel free to reach out to us. You can contact us either in the Money Making Esthetician group, or you can contact us at our corporate office, which is going to be 866-589-2949. My email is hello@dermastart in case you want to chit chat, you have any questions, or you need some guidance on where to start or what to do. Angel's always a great resource too as well. If you guys ever have any product questions, she's very well versed in every single one of our products and is our Dermastart ambassador as well. So she can help with any questions that you may have or anything that you may need, or even getting you set up with a professional account as well. Again, guys, thank you so much for being here with us. And I know Maria has a lot of really great classes coming up
One more
too.
question. Video training. So once they purchase the device, what is the training and education afterwards? Is there video training?
Yeah, the Juvasonic, they do video trainings, I believe, right, Angel? That you did your training via Zoom?
Yes. It's probably going to be something that we're doing in the future, but we wanted the people that are needing kind of a boost and change in their career right now, and you're doing a shift for 2026. I believe it's coming, but I can't say any more than that.
But yeah, if you purchase the Juvasonic, they do do their own training, and they have their own training manual as well. And then we have our trainings for the products side of it as well.
You guys are absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for being here. Let's continue the conversation back in the group. I am so excited to see people bring it into their treatment rooms and make $150 while they're masking. How fun is that?
Right?
It's amazing. We're super excited. Thank you for the opportunity today, and thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye guys.